Greetings, Commanders! And welcome, all you glorious bullet mains. Welcome, guys. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about what to do with bullet builds because there's new gems going on. I haven't made a bullet video in a while. I thought with this new shadow chess piece in the game and these new gems in the game, it's probably about time I did an update on the bullet build. So I've been maining bullet since the first video that we did on bullet, years ago when we brought him to the mainstream. And I've kind of been flowing with the different meta shifts over the time. And I gotta say, now is a great time to really consider changing your gear, trying a 4-piece, and then switching into the super uber infantry gear. But today's video, we're gonna be covering why I use double soul eaters in not one Skywalker, why I'm still running Voltar's power and Mini Death Star because they're best in slot accuracy, and then why I don't run other things like Tyrant or different chess pieces. And it's real simple. It's just straight up because I only care about one thing: maximum leadership, so I can fit the most amount of Rangers, low risk, tier 1 in a slot. Maximum Ghost Cannon, so I can trigger this skill to hit high tier because Ghost Cannon ignores tier suppression. Which means Rangers kill tier 12. If you didn't know that, you've got a lot of catching up to do. Okay, and then of course the only thing that matters is accuracy, making sure that hit lands. But the one thing your opponent can do to not be hit by ignore tier suppression commanders like Bullet is they can run dodge or strengthened weakened effect if they are the proper counter. So Walker commanders can run strengthened weakened against infantry and make it very difficult to hit. The answer is not to use strengthened weakened to increase your accuracy against your primary matchup. Like if airships are your primary matchup and you want to hit Vegas, strengthened weakened will not help Bullet's accuracy. But resistance weakened will cut down on your opponent's ability to dodge. So long story short, if you want to get better at hitting, use accuracy and use resistance weakened wherever you can. Accuracy first, resistance weakened second. The Ghost Cannon skill says HP. It doesn't have anything to do with gear or research. That's just the raw troop. You can't do anything about that. Now, a question came up is, with the new penetration, I didn't even mention this in the intro, the new penetration hull, the new penetration stat, does it work with Ghost Cannon? So fortunately, I was able to partner up with our last guild battle community member named W.S. Tavis. He actually helped me test the Dawn Hull with and without penetration on Ghost Cannon to see what effect it had, if any. So to make it easy, I'm going to go ahead and show you that now. And it's pretty straightforward, it's in, right here. In the first replay, I don't believe I used, I used a Dominion Hull for the increased trigger rate just to get the trigger off. And I had the same gear, he had the same gear each time. The only difference was in one, I had the Dominion Hull, the other one, I had the Dawn Hull. So there's the Ghost Cannon right away. I hit him for 489,000. I killed 3,000 troops. That's all that matters. I killed 3,000 troops. He didn't trigger anything special. One Ghost Cannon with 10,000 troops killed 30%. Simple enough. 30%. Sounds about right. Okay. Then we run it again, but this time I put the penetration hull on to see if that extra 15% penetration would help me kill 15% more troops. But as you'll see here, Ghost Cannon, ding, nothing. Exactly the same. Which means that the true damage caused by Ghost Cannon is not affected by defense. It's not affected by the defense stance, which we always kind of knew, but it's nice to see for sure. Here's factual evidence that penetration does not help or hurt Ghost Cannon. So go back to using Dominion or APOC Hull. Armageddon Hull, because it has accuracy and skill trigger rate. So technically, Bullet's best hull is actually the Armageddon Hull. Kind of weird, but it is. For defending. Mostly defending anyway. You always want first strike. But what is interesting is that particular replay. This particular replay shows off how much more damage you get from Dawn. I mean, let's see if I can do it real fast. Okay, here we go. So in the first replay, second hit kills, it's a 539,000. That's the raw melee damage. And then we run the replay again. Here's the melee hit. It's almost double It's almost 50% more damage. That's how much more powerful the Dawn Haul is in raw PvP. So remember, the best in slot haul is Dawn, unless you're a bullet main, which is what this video is all about. So let's get back into it. People always ask me, what gems am I running? Why don't I run 4-piece? I'm going to go over it, and I'll try to make it quick. I kind of assume everyone knows this stuff, but then again, there's a lot of new bullet players, new glorious players out there that want to use this awesome strategy to destroy their server bosses. And they just don't know about the history of the channel. They don't know about all the other fireside chats and bullet videos I did. So guys, if you're experts, bear with me. Maybe just, you know, if I start to ramble on about something you already know, just go to the comments and type something in or upvote something. So let's go over it. First off, like I said, accuracy is everything. We'll sacrifice anything else to get it. Mini Death Star, best in slot, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Also, you want to have 2 accuracy jewels in your head. There's a lot of choices for accuracy jewels in the head slot, but mostly Walker stuff, right? So Taurus and Capricorn are going to give it to you. But what's nice about Taurus is if you get 2 pieces, you get that resistance weaken effect, which is the secondary stat you want on bullets. So you run Taurus in the helm, and then Capricorn for the accuracy as well. There may be more options. I don't know offhand, but check with your gems and check in the comments below if I miss anything. As far as the Soul Eaters, you know, I use double Soul Eaters because pound for pound, they are the #1 accuracy weapon in the game. However, it's really hard to take a Soul Eater, such a useless item, except for bullet, higher than level 20. But I did it because I got a bunch of Melange bots. But I used to run the Skywalker. But as you can tell, this Skywalker is 52.5 at level 25, while the Soul Eater is 69. That's an extra 17%, which is a lot because I'm always trying to get 28, 29% jewels. Losing 17% at level 25 is a big deal to me. So I don't know how much further I'll take these 2 Soul Eaters up. They're at a point right now where I pretty much hit everything I want to hit. Except for Vega, of course. 600% dodge, can't hit him. So until the Awakened Commanders or the Insomnia Commanders, until that meta shifts over, until you start seeing more 600% dodge commanders, I'm going to keep running it this way because it still works. You know, Rogers, Reinhardt, Elf, Pictor, Full Metal, I'll hit all of them. As far as like Lilith, Robin, Plasma, Stella's concerned with Tier 12 infantry, I usually hit them, but not all the time. Depends, that extra piece of dodge gear might be the difference. But then, you know, the pants, right? Voltar's Power, I talked about those. The reason I run... Oh, I should probably finish with the Soul Eaters. Let's finish with the Soul Eaters. Obviously, you want to go double accuracy in the Soul Eaters. As far as accuracy bonus is concerned, you can't really get it, I don't think. Let me see. You get Resistance Weaken for the Taurus, and then you get Resistance Weaken for the Aquarius. So you get the accuracy from Taurus and Aquarius. I also think you can get accuracy from other gems, but only Aquarius... And where is it at? Am I doing it wrong? Oh, you know what it is? I changed my chest piece. Let me put that my other one back on. I haven't re-gemmed my old chest piece yet. There we go. No, so it's defense. I'm not Capricorn. I'm getting lost in my head here. Okay, whatever. So these 2-piece sets don't matter. All we ever cared about, I definitely did this better the last time I did this, was Aquarius and Taurus for the 2-piece sets. We got those. And then the rest, we just get the raw accuracy. We can get it from any other gem set. That's fine. And the reason I don't go for... Is that right? Yeah, Aquarius. And the reason I don't go for 4-piece is real simple. There are some options out there. Remember, I only run Rangers on my bullet. I do not treat him like a normal PvP commander. I very, very rarely switch him over to like Bullet or Robin or Stella's gear and actually fight a fair fight because he is just not good. His Ghost Cannon does not hit hard enough in a toe-to-toe fight with the same tier. It's just not. You're not going to do enough to Rogers. You're not going to do enough to Vega or Golem or Stella. So I very rarely ever full march unless it's something like Ace of Galaxies or the new 6v6 PvP. And his 20% skill is pretty much garbage. So, okay. Going back to gems. Was I at gems? Oh, yeah. 4-piece gem set. So what are my options if I only run Rangers, right? Well, of course, Gemini, which is double strike, which I'm using Rangers. Most of my opponents have at least 6% tier suppression, sometimes 10% from 2-piece Libra. And frankly, tier 1 just doesn't hit hard enough to do any damage to tier 12, so I don't care about Gemini. Don't care about the raw melee damage. And Gemini doesn't work with Ghost Cannon. Ghost Cannon's its own attack, and then Gemini again. They're independent of each other. Gemini does not trigger Ghost Cannon to guarantee a hit. So Gemini's no use for me for my particular use of Bullet. And then Libra it's got tier suppression built in, but I'm using tier 1. And then it's got 4-piece, which is the the Riposte strike, which is like Yuri's skill, which is useless for someone who gets one shot by one unit of tier 12. Entire 400,000 Rangers will be one shot by a tier 12, one infantry, or one unit of tier 12. Hell, one unit of freaking tier 10 would do it. But no need for Libra there. So the raw infantry gem, Sagittarius is great, but not with Rangers, right? I'm just trying to land that Ghost Cannon hit. That's all my damage is that Ghost Cannon. So I don't need the Sagittarius, and I don't need the Pisces. Pisces was interesting because for a while I would run Pisces on my bullet, and occasionally, 20% of the time, I would trigger Pisces, which was cool because if I full marched my bullet into somebody, I might survive the first attack. But when I was testing that, it was a lot more common for people to be running Rogers, Vegas, Golems, and their Awakening, that one slot that triggered it might survive, but all the other units got hit by the Awakening and they died. And really what Pisces was offering me is like, it just lets me not heal as much sometimes. 1/5 of the time, I don't have to heal the slot. Honestly, with Metacrystal healing and Galactic Battle, I don't really care about healing the troops. It's not that big of a deal. It's not enough to make me really say, this is actually giving me another turn. It's not doing any more damage. I never get to use that slot again. By the time it goes around, their slot 3 kills it. Or some Awakening kills it. Occasionally, if I full march, my 4th slot might get to survive because their 4th slot didn't kill it. But it just wasn't worth it. But now, this is all building up to something, guys. Don't worry. We have our new Andromeda. Now, oh, I'm sorry, we have Virgo too. Virgo is okay, except Virgo does Strengthen Weaken. That doesn't help us. Remember, we like Resistance Weakened. And then the 20% lowers attack, doesn't do anything for us. But it, against Rogers it could. Rogers can be, Bullet with Ares kind of can really weaken Rogers, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to stand toe-to-toe with Rogers. We really have to trigger Ares twice, or Virgo twice, to really make Rogers weaken. Not really worth doing. But Virgo, that makes them skip their following turn. They're still going to do all the hits they would on a normal turn. So that doesn't pay off soon enough for us. But the Andromeda, infantry only, new jewel chest, is super interesting. Because, for one, all of the stats on these new star jewels can go up to 45, not 30. So it makes you wonder, well, if you're getting an extra 15% per jewel, should I abandon all of my 2-piece sets with my other jewels? Maybe, because now they gave us this new shadow chest piece that has resistance weakened built in. I think for the most part, I kind of zero out my opponent's Strengthened Weakened, and in the current meta, no one's really using Strengthened Weakened. That was really popular in Tier 11 because it was more vulnerable. But Tier 12, although it's vulnerable to Strengthened Weakened, its tear space ability is not. So you can't just crush a Tier 12 player by having the right gear and just swinging past them, we say. Because they'll still land the hit on you, especially the low tier guys, and then the tear space will just crush you, just absolutely decimate you. So, yeah, Strength and Weaken is just not as powerful in the current meta. But, like I said, the Andromeda goes up to 45%. We have plenty of resistance weaken from the Shadow Chest piece. And now, target skips their next action. 20%. This is a Lilith skill. So, the Pisces thing was like, it made you immune, that slot would survive. But this is actually forcing your opponent to skip. Which means your slot 2 may be able to go before your opponent ever goes once. So, like, let's say you're defending, right? You get first strike, your bullet attacks, right? He triggers Andromeda, and that way your opponent's first slot skips their turn. Now it immediately goes to your second slot. You have a chance at 2 ghost cannons if your Andromeda triggers. Now, I know it's a low chance, it's 20%, but it's a 45% skill, right? 45% jewels, so better stats all around, and the 4-piece set gives you an opportunity, more opportunities to trigger Ghost Cannon. So I am going to be working, this is official, I am going to be working on an Andromeda set for my bullet. The problem with Andromeda is you have to have 5 pieces, not 4, to get the full set bonus. So I'll be walking away from quite a bit of resistance weakened, but that's fine. The overall stats are going to be higher, and I'm going to pick up that missing resistance weakened if I lose any. I don't know if I'll have to lose any at this point. But I'm also going to be working on my 3rd jewels too. But what was I saying? Man, this is a lot. Okay, so the 5th jewel gives you, Oh God, what am I doing? Resistance weaken on that's what I was looking for. The body of the Phoenix chest. Okay, there's the shadow. So the 30% I'm losing from the potential all the 2 sets I have to dump, I'll be gaining back on this chest piece. Not to mention, I got to socket this with another 60% of resistance weaken. I have more than enough resistance weaken to be really concerned about it. And frankly, hitting Walker is tough, but most Walker commanders aren't using Insomnia commanders. They're not doing the Vega 600% dodge. Mostly what you're up against is elves who aren't really dodging much. They focus more on the HP and defense because they want to survive the hit and get heals. Dodge is usually more glass cannon build. Elf needs to get hit to heal. And then Full Metal, who I think is always going to be a problem. I mean, yeah, he's going to be a balanced build. He's going to be hard to hit. But the majority of Walker are playing Elf right now. Pictor as well is going to be tough to hit. That's going to be your main problem. But honestly, there's not a lot of Walker players right now because infantry is so bad and air is so good. So not as many infantry means not as many people want to play Walker. So our worst matchup is not as populated as our best matchup, airships. So that's kind of where Bullet's at right now. You know, if you don't have the bankroll or the skill points to get 5-piece Andromeda, then just worry about getting 2-piece resistance weakened on your pants, 2-piece resistance weakened on your chest, double accuracy weapons, double accuracy weapons, double accuracy helm, 2-piece Leo, 2-piece 2-piece Taurus, 2-piece Aquarius. I want to say Aquarius. Yeah, 2-piece Aquarius. And then get your hands on the Shadow if you haven't yet. And then remember, if you have enough accuracy and resistance weakened, instead of using the Apocalypse Hall, which has great raw accuracy and resistance weakened, if you know you're going to land the hit, switch over to the Armageddon Hall. The Armageddon has a 10% increased skill rate to triggers. So instead of 40% to Ghost Cannon, it's 44. And then you also have a little accuracy there, right? And of course the hospital's bigger if you're PvPing on your own server or on your own ship. I recommend garrisoning someone else's ship though. That way you give yourself time to switch hulls and receive all your broken rangers when they're or injured rangers when they come back. You don't want to get hit too many times. You know, you run out of those rangers. So if you want to just set up a trap, have an ally who's a decently large enough ship that's ready to take a big hit, garrison them with all your bullets and yeah, your glorious ghost cannon builds. But that's pretty much that. I think that covers the bullet thing, right? Did I miss anything? Check the comments below if I missed anything. Try to pick up those 2-piece sets wherever you can without having to sacrifice anything else. Try to get your gems above 28%. Remember, you can always repurpose them if you have to. Repurposing is expensive. It does take cosmic crystals. But, you know, if you want the best gems in the game, you got to repurpose them. So, yeah, this is the repurpose tool. Let's see. We'll repurpose one just for the sake of the video. Let's see. There's a 19. We could, ooh, there we go, 11%. Bulk repurpose. There we go. Oh, it's going to make me go pick another one. 17, 26. While I click this, I want you to, if you're still watching, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the bell notification. Share the channel with your friends. We are this close to 5,000 subscribers. I think we're going to hit it this month. We are so darn close. So here's my re-rolled Sagittarius chest. Let's go ahead and hit that. And 18%. That was bad. So we'll have to re-roll that one eventually. I don't need them right now. When it's time to re-roll stats, which I actually do, huh? I need to do the chest piece. Oh, no. Well, I'm not going to do that in this video. I know for sure I'm going to be upgrading this Shadow. I'm sorry. I know for sure I'm going to be putting Aquarius 5-piece in all of my sets. I'm nowhere near the amount of points I need for all the Aquarius. I just got to keep PvPing. Actually, I'm a lot closer than I'm letting on, but when I get the 5-piece Aquarius and Bullet Ghost Cannon in action, I get that right play, I'll put out that right replay and show people what's going on with the new Glorious Bullet builds, because frankly, the Glorious Bullet build has been, the Glorious Ghost Cannon is still amazing. They haven't really nerfed it. They've made it hard to hit Vega, but I mean, it's hard for everyone to hit Vega with that 600% awaken. But he's not the only one. You can awaken Nekajiro and Medusa and Fabian and a few other amazing commanders to 600%, including Bullet. But the only thing you can really get from this awaken is that'll help Bullet's Ghost Cannon is resistance weakened effect. And you just keep rolling it. Just keep that updating every day. So you can get dodge. That doesn't do anything. There's a resistance weaken. 65%. That's a lot. That's a lot. So don't worry about losing your 2-piece sets from Taurus and Aquarius. Try to get that. Oh gosh, What is it called? Andromeda? Try to get that 5-piece Andromeda. You should have enough resistance we can throw all the other stuff. But that's Bullets. That's what Bullet's been up to. That's how I'm still playing him. I kind of tease that I might go to Robin or Vega soon. But frankly, I'm so close to tier 11 infantry that going Vega right now doesn't make a lot of sense for me. But I really don't have the resources either to build my tier 11 army. So I'm still going to be running tier 10 infantry for a while. So maybe I'll consider running a Walker Commander when that is all finished, when all my tier 11's built. I don't quite know. But I've certainly had a lot of fun with Robin and Lilith. I just don't know if I want to get out of the Bullet build, because as a glorious Bullet player, the one thing that's so great about this commander is you don't have to be super rich. You don't have to put a ton of money in. Just put all your leadership into Bullet, get your Ghost Cannon up, get your cheap accuracy gear, get your gems on, and go play kickoff guy for your guild. Go into the galactic battle, garrison just Rangers so you don't give away points, and trick your opponents into attacking you, sending points, and scoring against them. Take the lead in the galactic battle for your guild, and that way your opponents have to come to you. If your opponents have to come to you in the dark, you get to scout them. You get to set the rallies. You get to attack their attacks on your garrison. You get to defend and have the choice of how you want to attack them, meaning that you're going to get more points. You're going to get that further lead. And after a few hours, or maybe a full 6 hours, eventually the guild will give up if they don't think they can hold it. But as a Bullet player, it's always fun to know that you have a use in the guild. The first hour, 2 hours, you are super useful in just scoring points and not giving away any. So if you don't play a Bullet, remember, I did a video earlier this week. You don't need 400,000 leadership. Just honestly, 40,000 leadership will still kill a ton of units. It's still a ton of points. Nobody wants to get hit by a Ghost Cannon. You don't need to main him to have this stuff, but he's definitely fun to just throw around in a galactic battle. If he gets injured, don't want to use him anymore, just leave him injured. But everyone should be running at least a Bullet. And remember, Bullet's not the only one that has this type of Ghost Cannon skill. Annihilator Ray from Rock is actually a better skill with walkers, but remember, in galactic battle, tier 1 Yetis give away points. Why Bullet does not. Woo! That was a crash course on Bullet in the modern age. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Melt. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking this video. Put something in the comments below. Goodbye.